Factoring is one of the most important skills you need for Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and college algebra success. Let's take a look at the first step in factoring, which is finding the greatest common factor. So let's look, is there something that divides each term evenly? So in this first example, 2x plus 8, 2 divides each term evenly. What that means is I can take a 2 out and then create a multiplication problem. To figure out what goes in that set of parentheses, we divide by 2. So 2x divided by 2 is just x. And then 8 divided by 2 is 4, and it's positive 4. And this is factored by taking out a greatest common factor. Now, an important realization is that this expression, 2x plus 8, is the same as this expression, 2 times x plus 4. So every time you factor, if you think about that just a little bit, you'll have a better understanding of what's going on. Let's look at this next one, 6x plus 9y. So they have a 3 in common because 3 divides 6 and 3 divides 9, and it's the biggest number that divides both. So we'll put 3 outside the parentheses to create a multiplication problem. Then we'll divide each term by 3 to get 2x plus 3y, and that gives us what's inside of the parentheses. Once again, this expression you started with is the same as this expression we ended with. You can check this by distributing 3 times 2x and 3 times 3y. Let's look at variables. Variables, it's a little tough when you find the greatest common factor because you're actually looking for the smallest variable they have in common. So here, if I have x to the 5th minus 3x squared, the greatest common factor is x squared. So it's the smallest exponent. And I create my multiplication with the parentheses, and I divide by x squared. When we divide, we are canceling out x's, so I have 5 and 2 on bottom, so I cancel out 2 of them, left with 3. Or we subtract 5 minus 2. X squared minus, or divided by x squared is just 1, so we have minus 3, where those cancel completely. Once again, this is the same as my expression that I started with. It's just written differently. It's written in factored form. And then the last one contains a very common mistake that people make, but it's not quite yet. First, we just find the greatest common factor. There's a 1 in front of this x cubed, so there's no coefficient or number in front they have in common, but they all have an x, and more specifically, they all have an x cubed. So we take out an x cubed, create our multiplication, and divide everything by x cubed. So we get 8x squared minus 2x. And then this is the most common mistake people make when doing factoring with the greatest common factor. If it divides completely, you have to keep a 1 there. So x cubed divided by x cubed is 1. It does not go away. So keep that 1 for that placeholder. And then this expression is equivalent to the one you started with.